Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of these. I've said I was going to put them in for weeks now, and I still haven't. But so I have a couple
Eventually.
past
They'll get there
recordings.
eventually.
Yeah, they will. Okay, so yeah, I don't have a ton of stuff today. This is just a leaderboard. Thomas made it out with one trade. Cheater. No, I'm kidding. But you guys did pretty good. The market did good.
Our Triad made 71 trades. We go back.
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was grinding. Yeah.
Oh, I also gave him. He has a market watch because we were doing it by quarter, right? So he technically won the quarter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave him a role in the Discord. He has a market watch game winner role.
Okay.
So now he's special. Yeah.
Nice. This is so I just I'm highlighting a couple of industries that I like the past month that we didn't talk. Real estate is one of them. It's not one that's often talked about, but it's pretty important. And plus, I'm trying to do real estate after college, so it's interesting for me to talk about. But anyway, so I got this article pretty recently, like 2 weeks ago. It says, so COVID has pushed everybody out of SF New York, just major cities, because people are not working in offices anymore, and they're kind of moving outside the city. And I just want to talk about this is, like office space, they're reconsidering like the size in which companies like need for office space. And also like there's a lot of vacancies in, apartment buildings and residences like around, like in the city essentially. And they're being offered a discount, like a pretty significant discount right now. So there's just a bunch of major banks, and REP is just real estate private equity firms that are making investments in commercial real estate right now in major cities. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And yeah, I got this off the article as well. So 2008 crisis, the same thing occurred, but sales didn't peak until mid 2010. So I just kind of wrote, it takes a while for it's kind of sad, but property owners, it takes a long time for them to run out of their savings typically. And so after a year or so, that's when they're selling. That's when these major banks and investment firms can jump in and buy those properties. I just thought that was interesting to highlight over the past month, kind of that's been happening because, COVID's, probably been around for a little over a year now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so everything's kind of starting to sell off inner cities. I thought that was interesting.
So Jeremy, does that mean you're predicting, well, not necessarily you're predicting, but this would kind of imply that small businesses will continue to, I guess, aside from stimulus, continue to go under as they run out of savings and things like that for a while, probably?
Yeah, well, since Biden is probably going to be elected president or whatever, I think that there'll be more stimulus packages, but I still think that small businesses are going to, struggle relative as things start improving, at least for a bit. But yeah, this is a little bit aside the fact. This is just kind of talking about just strictly office space and apartment buildings and in the inner cities are just it's just the transition of power to now these, large investment firms.
From what I've seen in Reading, just a quick thing from what I've seen in Reading class, and just in the news and whatnot, with the Democrat-controlled presidency and Congress, both houses, there will most definitely be more significant stimulus in the first couple weeks of the Biden administration. So, which could definitely help small business. But that's just going back to the point earlier that Sap was making. Sorry.
No, that's good. Hey, if anybody wants to jump in, if anybody's new also, we're just kind of talking through this. This is such a mutual club. It's not me giving a PowerPoint presentation. So please hop in and unmute yourself and say whatever you want to say, because that makes it way more interesting, in my opinion. But yeah, so crypto. So I'm not a huge crypto guy. I don't know a ton about it. So I was hoping someone else can jump in and kind of talk about it. But this is kind of what I've been, hearing and what I've saw in some articles, but obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum and like all these other currencies are jumping through the roof. And I was curious why. So I was looking at it, the stimulus packages, causing inflation, and people are looking for those like store of value securities. And banks are just have like increased confidence in these currencies, and so they're kind of leaning that way. But if someone could talk on that, and why else they think that crypto has been shooting like crazy, because I don't have too much knowledge in cryptocurrencies, but yeah.
Gold and silver has been really weak since like August, September. So maybe like institutional capital is flowing through crypto. And also when PayPal announced
it's big time. I think, so every day there's about, I believe it's 1,900 Bitcoins mined, or a few thousand. And companies like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is like, it allows people to buy their stock, it's GBTC. I believe they buy about 80,000 a day, and PayPal buys like over 100,000 a day. So eventually we're going to run into this point where there's nothing left to buy. And so that's kind of what's happening right now, is there's no supply, and the supply is running low. And like, it also makes it easy for like big banks like JP Morgan to start manipulating the price, because all they have to do is put in like $1 billion sell order, and boom, the price drops like 10% or a few percents, just because of the amount there is out there. There's a bunch of ways they can manipulate it, but it is looking very good, as kind of whatever it's called, a hedge against all the money printing. And that's why institutions are just plowing their money into it, regardless of the tech, regardless of whether any of it works. It's just like gold in the sense that it's naturally deflationary. And as they print more money, the value will rise, theoretically, obviously, because it's pretty speculative.
Does anybody here like mine like Ethereum, or have like a piece of Bitcoin or whatnot?
I mined in 2017. I mined Ethereum. I made like $2 a day, so I was doing pretty well. In the end, I think I stopped because it went back down to like $100, so I wasn't really profitable anymore. Today, I actually, like a week ago, I was mining again, but I was making like 20 cents a day, so it's a little bit different now. But if you have an extra computer, it can be worth it to make a few cents a day, especially if you're using your parents' power. That's always great because it's free. Mining is just not, most of them are shifting away from mining long term because it uses so much power, and it's kind of inefficient and kind of slow as far as the network goes. So long term, it's not the best investment to buy something to mine or anything.
Isn't it like 20 or 25% of like total Bitcoins has been lost? Like people just mined it in 2010 and just like lost all of it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of them that are lost. The founder, Satoshi Nakamoto, owns over 1 million, which is like 5-10% of supply. So if you add those two up, plus the fact that there's still 3 million left to be mined in the next 100 years, there's just not many to go around, and that's why the price is high. And then obviously the tech. They have people envisioning, real estate where you don't need a broker or anything. I sell you your property and it's on the blockchain. They got art now. They used to sell kitties on the blockchain. I still have a kitten. I believe the values have sunk super low, so they're practically free at this point. But there's some interesting art projects and stuff where you can have your own art on the blockchain, and there's all kinds of new tech that's coming up that's going to be very interesting and very revolutionary, really, because you don't need a middleman or anything. You can just transact with anybody, and very cheap.
I think a big thing that's led to this run up is PayPal and Square being able to like buy on their platforms. That leads like to consumer buying just from like regular people. And I think that's contributed a lot to this run up. Yeah, I think that's been a big thing, and that's why there's so much volatility.
That's definitely huge.
Still.
And the next big bull run is going to be the second the S&P 500 companies start buying. There's companies like I forget what it's
Square
called.
is doing it.
Well, yeah, Square's doing it, but that's because they sell Bitcoin, so they kind of have to, because they're actually losing some money on it right now. They might be buying.
Cash is being transferred into.
Yeah,
all their cash is being stored as Bitcoin.
Yeah, so that's what's coming right now. I would say the second Elon Musk tweets about it, or the second they buy, we're going to go to the moon. So we'll see. But yeah, I would argue the second the S&P 500 firms start buying, because that is billions. That's like hundreds of billions of dollars in cash. Obviously, we'll see.
Does anybody else mine Ethereum or have a piece of Bitcoin? No? All right, so this is what I have on renewables. Just a quick update by what's happening. I'm sure many of you guys know, but if you don't know, here's like a little overview. It's kind of, what's been going on. So yeah, with people like not driving and whatnot, this was posted December 11th, so a month ago. But the demand for fossil fuels is drastically decreased, and these massive oil and gas companies, Exxon, BP, are just laying off a bunch of workers. And basically, I kind of got from this article that like just the financial strength from these massive companies is decreasing, and they don't have that instant capital to fund these large renewable projects, in which a lot of other companies are kind of leaning towards. And this is kind of why I made that investment that I was just talking about before we started here. Is just because when Biden goes into his presidency, is inaugurated, then he's very likely to enter the Paris Accord again, that I think Trump pulled us out in 2016, 2017. And there's just a ton of money that they plan to invest in clean energy in the next couple of years. And my question for you guys would be, and also cut me off whenever you guys want, but do you guys think that the majority of the prices are already baked in, or how much growth you think we're expected to see in like these renewable companies, over the next 4 years, over the next presidency? It's for anybody to answer.
I do think that there's an increasing trend towards renewable companies, because I know like renewable bond issuances have hit like record highs this year. So there's definitely a lot of at least consumer interest in kind of renewable practices and sustainable practices as far as a lot of companies are going, and they're making that transition with a lot of these issuances, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. Is anybody else in any clean energy stocks right now that they've been doing pretty well in?
I guess I would say that's like 80% of my portfolio. But I mean, I guess, yeah, I've made a lot of money off of it. I'm gonna continue to make a lot of money off of it. It's the future. I don't know. I have a rule in investing. I don't invest in any fossil fuel companies. I just think it's a dumb idea, because I'm just gonna lose money long term. Other people have different ideas about buying them at decreased prices, but I don't know. I just don't see ExxonMobil even being around in a decade or two. So it's kind of, and they say they're going to have like these carbon sequestering like facilities to take it out of the air, and then they'll make more oil. And I was like, well, that's just stupid. I don't see them being around, at least in the way they are today, but they have a lot of cash, so they definitely could still make big moves. They're not making any money, but they have a lot of money. So that's kind of the thing for them.
I agree. I think investing with renewables, like I see clean energy and clean technology as a mega trend that's going to last like into the future for a number of decades. And it seems like there's no alternative to making a pretty big change in the tech that we have right now. So I'm not picking individual stocks at the moment. I'm kind of going more with like clean energy ETFs, just because I don't want to spend the time and research and be wrong betting on one technology. I'm super interested. One thing I want to learn more about is different storage technologies, and I've been learning more about green hydrogen recently. And I don't know if any of you guys know anything about green hydrogen, but it's basically like using clean energy from solar or wind to power an electrolyzer, which splits water into like hydrogen and I guess O2 or wait, H2O, oxygen. And then you can use that hydrogen as a fuel source that stores, but it's not like the economics don't pencil out right now for green hydrogen on a utility scale. But I think like if manufacturing costs and those processes can develop and become less expensive, like we have seen with solar and wind, because 2 decades ago, no one would have said that utility scale solar or like would be feasible because it didn't make sense. And then solar panels got exponentially cheaper because the economies of scale took over and China started manufacturing them at super reduced rates. So like that stuff is exciting to me. I think there's a lot of potential.
Definitely. Else have any thoughts on renewables? And also, like, do you guys think that like a lot of that has been baked in? I know Mason was talking about it's going to be probably lasting for a couple of decades, just because that technology is definitely not like done growing. But there's been significant jumps in recent months, and I just wondering if you guys thought that like ate up most of the growth, or you think it's like gonna continue to blast. Nobody?
There's probably like there's been a big run up, but I think the efficient market hypothesis is just like not true at all. Like there's still there's still gonna be volatility. It's not just gonna go straight up, but yeah, I doubt that it's baked in like really close to 0% chance.
Yeah. Yep.
Lauren, I saw you unmute for a sec. Did you have something to add?
I did. So going back to the previous point, I was thinking something that would be worth looking into is companies that maybe currently don't deal much with non-renewables, but they are like making leaps towards becoming more renewable friendly. So for instance, Enbridge I was looking into, they're looking into building, or they already have built like more offshore wind, I'm forgetting the name right now, offshore wind turbines, and they're trying to grow their sector there. So I made a small investment in that. So still trying to see how that turns.
Nice.
I see. So you're
That's
cool.
Looking
at
I'll check it out.
Transition rather than the companies that are already doing it. I'm sure some of them have better valuations too. They're not, trading at a really high value compared to other companies. Yeah, like they have a PE ratio of 46. That's pretty good. It's pretty sweet.
So if no one has anything else on renewables, I just wanted to introduce something that's like a little bit new. Maybe not new for this year. I don't really know how it's run, before I came to Cal Poly, but I was thinking what we do is, have a, one person a week present, accompany the club. And I just jotted down some notes, company with good growth prospects, some kind of new technology that's revitalizing old company, or it could be where, they're not in renewables, but they have the capital to be able to transition to that kind of technology. Just why you think a stock price is going up for a certain company in the future, or just something that you invested in. And I was wondering if I can get, one or two people to just kind of pitch a company. And this is not like investment advice or anything, but I thought it'd be interesting if like every time, someone brings up some kind of new company that, we can keep an eye out for. But if anybody wants to jump in and go next week, or, has something right now that even they wanted to talk about, I think that'd be awesome.
I don't know about right now. Well, go ahead.
You go. My way.
I don't know about right now, but I'm working on an equity research report for another kind of organization I'm a part of on Ford. So maybe I could use some of the stuff from that. I think that might be kind of cool. We're doing some pretty in-depth research. We're generating some valuation models as well, which could be kind of neat.
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna say I could probably go after him. I guess I was thinking IBM. IBM is changing a lot of their focus from their old way into doing more cloud computing. They changed the CEO. And usually, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the dogs of the Dow theory, where like the stocks that did the worst in the Dow Jones from the year before usually do the best in the next year. And that's like worked out. And they were like one of the worst stocks 2020. And I have a like small position in them, but
yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be awesome actually for both of those. Whenever you want to like bring that the next week or something. I just thought it would be like interesting. And if you guys have any ideas for stuff that we could do during the club as well, you know, that'd be awesome. I just thought that, you know, pitching a company or two, a meeting would be like just beneficial and, you know, fun to see like everybody's take on, you know, where they think, you know, that company is going to go in the future and why they think they're going to do, you know, good or bad, or, you know, if you think some, you know, oil company or gas company is going to dump, you know, just bring it to the table and so we could all talk about it. It gives us some extra, just things to talk about during the club meetings and makes it more interesting. So, other than that, so yeah, either Charlie or Gabriel, if you can go next week, that'd be awesome. Other than that, I don't think I have too much more. Just a couple quick updates. I think I'm going to start back up the Market Watch game. You guys saw the leaderboard. It's just kind of a fun thing that you guys can do on the side, and we can all get some bragging rights to see who's doing the best in the next couple months. And then one last update. So we've had a LinkedIn in the past, and it's been like past Cal Poly presidents from like 4 or 5 years ago that like own it, and like we reached out to them, and then they still don't have like the password. They have no idea. So I think I'm going to be starting up a LinkedIn within the next week or so. You know, if you guys want to add it, I'm not actually sure how the group of LinkedIn works, but I'll be figuring that out in the next week or so and send out an email. But I think it'd be a fantastic way to, you know, connect with, you know, people that are also in the investing club. And, you know, years down the line, if you're, you know, you're 30 and you're working and someone, you know, you have an opening in your spot and you're talking to some kid from investing club at Cal Poly, it might be a great conversation. So I just thought that would be interesting to put out there. But I think that's all I had for today. So thank you guys for coming out. Kind of a short meeting, but yeah. All good. Everyone's so quiet today. Hope you, yeah. That's awesome.
No, you're not wrong. So what, you want to do a company pitch at the start or the end of the meeting?
2 to 3.
Whenever. Yeah, whenever.
Technical writing class.
Oh.
He wanted us to read, like, well, read? Oh.
Hey, Luke, can you mute yourself, please?
He said that, like, we were supposed to try and do the whole first chapter.
All right. I muted him.
He's gone.
Let's chill anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. Whenever you guys want, just in the middle or at the end or something, just, I think it'd just be interesting. And, you know, you guys are always screaming tickers at each other. And I have no idea like what companies they are a good chunk of the time. So I think that would be like interesting to kind of decode what's going on. But yeah.
How in depth do you want it?
What's up?
How in depth do you want it? Like,
not too. I mean, however you want to take it. You know, if you want to do like 2 slides or something on like a PowerPoint, or if you just want to talk about it, or you want to do a full, you know, spiel on why we all should put money in whatever you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, whatever you guys want to do with it. But I think it'd just be interesting.
Let's figure out who's gonna go next week. Like Gabriel or Charlie, do one of you guys want to volunteer? Because that way we can have kind of a plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm okay with whatever.
Okay.
Mine probably won't be ready for a little bit of time.
Yeah, because Charlie, you're doing it like with a group, right? I mean, yeah, this doesn't need to be formal, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. So if you get something, Gabriel, if you have something ready to go next week or like ready to talk about, then we'll do it. But
yeah, I won't be super in depth, but I can work some.
Yeah, just
all right.
A couple of things, that'd be awesome.
All right, cool.
One more thing. Does anybody know where Jack Ma went? Is he dead? I'm wondering. I'm really wondering. Somebody just sent me an article that they're planning to nationalize his company now that he's gone. I don't know. Like there's no way there's no way they didn't kill him. I swear. It's kind of sus. It said he made
I had Alibaba.
Comment. It said he made some comment about the financial regulation in China. Yeah, he offended the Chinese authorities by delivering a speech in Shanghai in October, criticizing financial regulation. And then he and his colleagues were called in for questioning. And then the planned IPO of his financial services powerhouse, Ant Group, for over $30 billion was suddenly suspended, and they opened antitrust investigations. And now he's gone. So I don't know. Yeah, it's not looking good for him. But I don't know if anybody else has any other takes on that.
He wasn't the CEO of Alibaba, was he?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't see him listed as a CEO anymore.
Oh, I'm sure he's been dethroned, yeah. Oh, no, 2015, okay. Was this other guy?
It looks like he's the founder.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's what but it's funny. I actually got lucky, like purely lucky with Alibaba. Like I thought it was good and I invested, and then I actually just sold because I wanted to free up capital to do something else with it. And I ended up selling it around like, I guess not the peak, but like 280.
Nice.
Which feels pretty good looking at it now at like 220. So rather be lucky than good.
Apparently the administration will be investigating Alibaba for suspected monopolistic activity. Like they could have done this decades ago. Like they're totally just trying to yoink his company. It's not like like really?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. What does that mean for investors? Like if you own a company and China yoinks it, like just takes it, how does that work? Like if it's nationalized, do you just lose all your money? I guess you just keep holding it, right? You can still own it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, because then it's like you're holding a stock that's like a stake in a foreign government, which I don't know how illegal that is.
Well, it depends. Like the Chinese government might just acquire it, you know?
Uh-huh. They might just print some money and buy it. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's very
But they might like, yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, if that's it, then we will see you guys next week. Yep.
And then if you have any questions, you want to talk, drop them in the Discord. If any of you aren't in the Discord, I can put the link in here. We have a new members section. We have a beginner resources section, and we have a bunch of new channels for stuff. A bunch more info. I put a bunch of stuff in there as well.
Sweet.
All right.
So yeah.
Have a good one, guys. Have a good week.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.